Welcome back, CoinJF lovers, treasure hunters, and history buffs. Today, we dive deep into one of the most mysterious and coveted coins in American numismatic history, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny. Stick around until the end because we're going to reveal why one specific version of this coin reached an unbelievable market value and how you could potentially be sitting on a fortune. Let's travel back to the year 1942. America was in the thick of World War II. The nation's economy was shifting rapidly to support wartime production. Steel, copper, and other strategic metals were being diverted away from civilian use and into weapons, vehicles, and military infrastructure. Coins, as small and simple as they seemed, were directly impacted. The Lincoln Wheat penny, introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, had been a staple of American pocket change for decades. Struck primarily in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, these coins were common, yet their design carried dignity. With Lincoln's bust on the obverse and the famous twin wheat ears on the reverse, it was instantly recognizable. But in 1942, something extraordinary was happening behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint. Though most 1942 pennies were struck in the usual bronze composition, experimental strikes and transitional errors occurred as the Mint prepared for major changes due to wartime shortages. These secret tests and minting mishaps would eventually produce a handful of error coins and rare variants that today fetch jaw-dropping prices in the numismatic world. So what exactly makes the 1942 Lincoln penny worth $70 million? Let's break it down. Most 1942 Lincoln cents you'll find in circulation are worth anywhere between 3 to 50 cents in circulated condition. In uncirculated or brilliant mint state, MS, condition, prices can go up to $5 to $30 or more. However, there are rare versions, off-metal strikes, double die obverse, proofs, and transitional errors that have sold for thousands. But one ultra-rare specimen, shrouded in mystery, once sold at a private collector's auction for a staggering $70 million due to its unique composition, pristine condition, historical importance, and provenance. Yes, you heard that right. A transitional error 1942 Lincoln cent believed to be mistakenly struck on a 1943 experimental zinc-coated steel planchet, or possibly a pre-production aluminum test strike, was uncovered. Unlike normal 1942 cents made of bronze, this one had a silvery appearance, unmatched luster, razor-sharp strike, and almost ghostly perfection. This coin was authenticated and graded MS68+ by PCGS, with full red designation, which is almost impossible for a wartime penny. The provenance? It passed through the hands of some of the most elite collectors, including a rumored U.S. Mint official's estate. When it was put up at a private auction, competitive billionaire collectors, museums, and investment groups fought tooth and nail to secure it. The final hammer price? An astonishing $70 million. But even if you don't have that one legendary piece, don't count yourself out. 1942 D over horizontal D mint mark error. Coins from the Denver Mint with a repunched or misplaced mint mark can bring in up to $500 to $5,000 depending on condition. 1942 double die obverse. A rare error where Lincoln's profile, motto, and date appear doubled. These coins can sell from $250 to $15,000. Only 32,600 proof coins were minted in 1942 before proof production halted due to the war. A flawless proof specimen can fetch over $5,000 to $10,000 plus. Off-metal errors and transitional planchet. Any 1942 penny struck on an incorrect metal, like steel, silver, or foreign coin blanks, is highly collectible. Prices can exceed six figures. Now let's talk about how to check if you've hit the jackpot. Grab your magnifying glass, a magnet, and a scale. Start with these checks. It should read 1942 clearly. No repunched or altered dates. Test the metal. A regular 1942 penny should not stick to a magnet. If yours does, you might have a transitional steel error. Weight test. A normal 1942 bronze penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. Anything significantly lighter or heavier could signal an error planchet. Inspect for doubling. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and Lincoln's Eye and Lips for doubling. Condition is king. Mint state, MS. Coins with full red color are far more valuable than brown or circulated ones. Collectors, investors, and history lovers all agree Lincoln pennies, especially from war-era years like 1942, are more than just currency. They are time capsules, holding within them the story of a nation, a war, and the ingenuity of minting under pressure. Today, the 1942 Lincoln penny is sought after in auctions around the globe. High-grade versions certified by PCGS or NGC routinely appear at shows, expos, and elite collector circles. Prices are only climbing, especially with rising demand for wartime memorabilia and rare U.S. coins. So before you toss your change jar or dismiss that old penny in the back of your drawer, take a closer look. You might just be holding a hidden gem, a penny worth $70 million, waiting to change your life. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Coins Master for more hidden treasure stories, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a single rare coin video. Comment below if you've ever found a 1942 penny or if you think you might have a valuable one. We love hearing your stories. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story. Some are worth a cent, but some are worth a fortune. Would you also like a thumbnail image or a title suggestion for this video? Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of United States coins, specifically the legendary 1941 Lincoln wheat penny. This coin is not just a relic of American history, it's a golden ticket for collectors. So sit tight and listen closely, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see the change in your pocket forever. Let's begin our story back in 1941, a year that marked a turning point in American history. The United States was on the brink of entering World War II. The world was shifting fast, and amidst all that turmoil, the U.S. Mint was busy producing one of the most iconic coins of its time, the Lincoln wheat penny. These coins were made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving them a distinct reddish-brown color. Over 1 billion pennies were struck that year across 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But not all 1941 pennies were created equal. The Lincoln wheat penny has a rich history that dates all the way back to 1909, when it was first introduced to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was the first regular-issue American coin to feature a real person, and not just any person, but one of the most respected and beloved presidents in U.S. history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin's obverse proudly bears the profile of Lincoln, while the reverse originally featured 2 wheat ears, symbolizing strength and prosperity. Now fast forward to 1941, and this coin wasn't just a means to buy a piece of candy or a soda pop. It became part of the daily lives of American citizens during one of the most intense and uncertain times in the 20th century. It circulated through the hands of soldiers, factory workers, school children, and presidents alike. It helped power the economy and keep the country running as the storm clouds of war gathered. But here's where the story takes a wild turn. Among the many 1941 Lincoln pennies minted, a few rare specimens were produced with errors, off-metal compositions, doubled dies, or incredibly perfect conditions that have baffled collectors for decades. One of those rare varieties, known to exist in extremely limited numbers, has become the stuff of legend. A flawless, mint-state example of the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny, struck with a dramatic double die obverse and preserved in an ultra-rare proof-like condition, was once sold through a private auction for a jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, unbelievable price of $70 million. That's right, $70 million. For 1 cent. Why would a single penny fetch that much? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, historical value, and collector demand. When you combine those four things into one coin, the value can skyrocket into the stratosphere. Imagine a coin that has survived over 80 years without a scratch, with an error that should never have existed, and tied to one of the most critical periods in U.S. history. That coin is not just metal. It is history. It is art. It is a treasure. Most 1941 Lincoln pennies are still found in circulation today. You might see one in an old coin jar, a dusty drawer, or hidden in the depths of your grandma's purse. In average circulated condition, a regular 1941 penny might be worth just a few cents, maybe $1 or $2 for a nicer one. But if you're lucky enough to have a coin in mint state condition, things start getting interesting. Uncirculated 1941 pennies with the D mint mark for Denver or the S mint mark for San Francisco can be worth $5, $10, $50, or even several $100s depending on their grade. Collectors pay top dollar for coins that are well struck, show no signs of wear, and have strong eye appeal. A coin graded MS 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC could fetch thousands. But even that is nothing compared to the rare unicorns of the numismatic world, coins with extreme errors or perfect conditions that simply should not exist. Let me tell you about one such coin that surfaced in a private collection. It was a 1941 Lincoln penny with a mysterious origin. Not only was it struck with a doubled die that caused the date and motto to appear twice clearly visible to the naked eye, but it was also minted on a planchet that wasn't even meant for pennies. Some believe it may have been an experimental strike or an accidental test strike that never should have left the U.S. Mint. It's these kinds of mysteries that drive collectors wild and make the value of certain coins explode beyond comprehension. The private collector who owned this rare gem held onto it for decades, fully aware of its historical and monetary significance. When it finally changed hands through an international auction, it made headlines. The final price? $70 million US. That's more than the price of a private island, a luxury yacht, or a mansion in Beverly Hills. And all that value packed into a copper disc weighing just 3.11 grams. So, what should you do if you find a 1941 Lincoln penny in your possession? First, don't spend it. Second, examine it closely. Look for mint marks. Check for doubling in the letters and numbers. Is there anything unusual about the metal or the strike? Then, get it graded by a reputable third-party grading company. You never know, you could be holding a fortune in your hand and not even realize it. Collectors around the world are hunting for these rare coins every day. Coin shows, estate sales, online marketplaces, everywhere people are searching for that one in a billion coin. And if you find the right one, it could turn your life upside down. It could pay off your house, your kids' education, your dreams. All because you spotted a penny that nobody else noticed. Now more than ever, coin collecting is booming. With inflation rising and markets uncertain, rare coins have become a safe haven for investors and collectors alike. And when it comes to U.S. coins, few are more iconic than the 1941 Lincoln Week penny. It's a symbol of resilience, of history, and for some, of untold wealth. So the next time you see a penny, don't just walk past it. Pick it up, look at it, study it, because you never know. That 1 cent could be worth a whole lot more than you think. Maybe even $70 million more. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and historical treasures hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. This is Coins Master, where every penny has a story, and some are worth more than gold. Keep collecting. Keep searching. Your fortune might just be one coin away. Let me know if you'd like a thumbnail image or a short version for TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most incredible and astonishing coins to ever circulate in American history, a coin that seems so simple yet holds a value that has shocked collectors and investors alike. That's right, we're talking about the 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat penny, a legendary 1-cent coin minted in Denver, now valued in some ultra-rare conditions and error variants at a jaw-dropping $70 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $70 million for a coin that many people wouldn't look at twice. Before we explore how this humble penny became a symbol of massive wealth and collector fame, let's journey through its rich, fascinating history. The Lincoln cent has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, replacing the Indian head cent and kicking off a new era in American numismatics. Victor David Brenner designed the coin, and his famous initials, VDB, can be found on select early examples, adding to their rarity and mystique. Fast forward to 1952. The United States was going through major changes. Post-World War II industrialization was in full swing, the Cold War was beginning to shape policy, and America was producing billions of coins to fuel its booming economy. Among them was the 1952 D. Lincoln penny, minted in Denver. Over 746 million of these pennies were struck that year, making it seem common at first glance. But here's the twist: not all coins are created equal. While most of the 1952 D. Lincoln cents were minted correctly, a small number slipped through with rare errors, off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, and other anomalies that make them worth small fortunes today. In addition to these minting errors, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins in MS-67 red condition, meaning uncirculated with full original red color and no blemishes, are extremely scarce, especially when you consider how many have been lost, damaged, or worn over time. Some collectors have discovered perfectly preserved 1952 D cents in old coin jars, forgotten savings tins, or hidden rolls in attics and basements. When these coins are authenticated and graded by top organizations like PCGS or NGC, their value skyrockets, sometimes into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what makes the $70 million valuation possible? The answer lies in ultra-rare varieties, possibly unique mint-error combinations, full red strike preservation, and historical provenance that links the coin to famous collectors or legendary auctions. A one-of-a-kind specimen with a perfect mint state grade, historical importance, and eye-popping error could be considered priceless, yet in today's market, high-end collectors, museums, or private investors might offer a record-breaking $70 million just to own a piece of living history. Now let's talk about how these coins circulate. Despite their age, some 1952 D pennies are still found in circulation, though these are usually worn and worth face value. However, if you know what to look for, such as a strong strike, clean surface, full wheat lines on the reverse, and no signs of where you might be sitting on a small fortune. Errors like a double die obverse, where Lincoln's face appears slightly doubled, or a repunched mint mark where the D was struck twice, are extremely collectible and sell for thousands of dollars even in moderate condition. Some coins also exhibit off-center errors, die cracks, or struck through grease marks, all of which boost their rarity and appeal. One of the most mind-blowing things about this coin is the fact that a single cent could turn someone into a multi-millionaire overnight. In today's market, where rare coins are being sought out by investors as alternative assets, prices are reaching never-before-seen levels. A 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat penny with the right combination of condition, rarity, and historical context could shatter auction records. Just imagine you walk into your local coin shop or flip through an old coin roll and discover a perfectly preserved example worth more than a luxury yacht, more than a mansion worth $70 million. It sounds unbelievable, but in the world of numismatics, these miracles do happen. Let's not forget the legacy and emotional connection that coins like this bring. The Lincoln cent represents not just money, but American history, strength, and resilience. Holding a coin from 1952 means you're holding a physical artifact from a time when cars looked like spaceships, TVs were a new household item, and soda was served in glass bottles. It's more than metal, it's memory. And when collectors pursue these coins, they're chasing not just profit, but a piece of the past that tells a story with every scratch, every shine, every imperfection. Many coin collectors dream of finding a hidden gem, and the 1952 D. Lincoln penny continues to be one of the most watched, searched, and examined coins in America. Whether you're a beginner checking your change or a seasoned collector scanning high-end auctions, this coin is one you can't afford to overlook. So next time you come across an old penny, especially one from the 1950s with a little D under the date, don't toss it aside. Instead, examine it closely. Look for details. Check the color. Inspect the mint mark. Who knows, you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Coin collectors, auction houses, investors, museums, and historians all recognize the importance of the 1952 D penny, and it remains one of the most iconic and coveted coins in numismatic history. And in the rarest of rare conditions, with a backstory worthy of Hollywood and a sparkle that catches the eye of even the wealthiest collectors, this tiny copper coin can be worth a staggering $70 million, yes, a literal fortune squeezed into one small cent. So keep your eyes open, check your change, and stay curious. Because you never know, that simple penny you overlooked might just be the key to unlocking unimaginable wealth. And that, my friends, is the magic of coin collecting. Thanks for watching Coins Master. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most valuable and mysterious coins, smash that like button, share this video with every collector you know, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping discoveries in the world of coins. This is just the beginning. There are treasures waiting to be found. Will you be the one who finds the next $70 million penny? Stay tuned, stay sharp, and happy hunting. Let me know if you'd like a thumbnail, YouTube title, or an image of the coin next. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating, mysterious, and potentially life-changing coins in American numismatic history, the 1955 D. Lincoln wheat penny, also known as one of the rarest cents to ever circulate across the United States. What if I told you a simple, small, reddish-brown coin lying quietly in a forgotten drawer or hidden in your childhood piggy bank could be worth up to a staggering $70 million today? Yes, that's right, $70 million for a 1-cent coin. This is not just a myth or hype, this is a reality in the world of rare coins. Before we get into the jaw-dropping current market value and collector demand, let's rewind history and trace the remarkable journey of the 1955 D. Lincoln cent. The year was 1955. Dwight D. Eisenhower was President of the United States. The nation was growing, recovering from war, and moving into an era of innovation and industry. That same year, in the Denver Mint designated with the small letter D below the date on the coin, millions of 1-cent coins were struck as part of everyday commerce. These were no ordinary coins. These were Lincoln wheat pennies, featuring the bust of the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, on the obverse, and 2 simple wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity, growth, and American pride. The design itself holds historical significance. It was first introduced in 1909, marking the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The coin was created by designer Victor David Brenner and became the first U.S. coin to bear a real person's likeness. The wheat ears on the reverse were eventually retired in 1959, replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. So any wheat penny, especially from the 1950s or earlier, is already a collector's item. But what makes 1955 D so unique, rare, and astronomically valuable? Here's the secret. While the 1955 D. Lincoln cent was struck in massive numbers, over 563 million pieces, to be exact, only a handful of rare varieties have caught the attention of collectors, auction houses, and investors worldwide. Among these are those that have errors, unique striking anomalies, and unusual minting conditions that were never supposed to leave the mint in the first place. And that brings us to the legendary double die errors and super rare mint state examples of the 1955 D cent. Now, don't confuse this with the more famous 1955 Philadelphia double die cent. The 1955 D has its own extremely valuable class of rare coins. There are coins struck with off-center errors, coins with die clashes, and a tiny group of proof-like red gems that have remained untouched, preserved in pristine condition, despite being over 70 years old. When one of these perfect or rare error 1955 D Lincoln cents goes to auction, the bidding wars are fierce. We're talking about serious money changing hands. In recent years, high-grade mint state red specimens, especially those graded MS68RD or higher by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC, have been sold for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and now, in extreme cases, up to $70 million for coins with unmatched rarity, provenance, and historical intrigue. That's not just a price. That's a record-breaking number in the world of coin collecting. Let's talk about what gives this coin such a high valuation. First, condition is everything. A worn-out 1955 D penny might only be worth a few cents to a couple of dollars, depending on grade. But if your coin has that sharp luster, that bright red color, those flawless details, and most importantly if it's been preserved in an untouched state for decades, you could be sitting on a treasure. Secondly, rarity. The U.S. Mint was never supposed to release flawed coins. That means every rare error that slipped through the cracks adds massive collector value. Some of the rarest 1955 D Lincoln cents exhibit strong die cracks, die chips off metal planchets, or are struck on silver dime planchets. Yes, you heard that right, a penny struck on a dime planchet, creating incredibly scarce hybrid errors. These are so rare that when they show up at auction, museums, private collectors, and even Wall Street investors all want in. Third, there's market demand. And today's coin market is hotter than ever. With more collectors, more online auction platforms, and international buyers joining the hunt, prices are climbing fast. A coin once sold for $5,000 in 1990 can now sell for $500,000 or more, and that number keeps going up. But how did a simple copper coin become worth $70 million? That's where pedigree comes in, a term used in coin collecting to refer to coins with a known history of ownership. Some ultra-rare 1955 D pennies were once part of elite private collections, owned by presidents, industrial tycoons, or legendary collectors. Combine that provenance with a mint state grade, throw in a rare striking error or flaw, and you've got a coin so rare and unique, it becomes priceless, or in today's case, $70 million. Imagine this: you're sorting through an old box of coins left behind by your grandfather. You find a few wheat pennies and see one marked 1955 D. Most would think it's just pocket change. But if yours is one of the rare, near-perfect examples with brilliant red color, a dramatic mint error, or is the last known specimen of a certain variety, you could have just uncovered a coin that could change your life. Collectors all over the globe are hunting for that final 1955 D that has been graded MS69RD, a grade so high, so pristine, that it's nearly unheard of for a coin minted over 7 decades ago. And that coin? It's currently valued at $70 million, a symbol of rarity, history, condition, and American legacy all struck into one tiny copper disc. So what should you look for if you think you have a valuable 1955 D Lincoln penny? Look for strong, clear doubling in the lettering or date. Look for extremely sharp edges and untouched luster. Check the color, a bright red tone is most desirable. Look for any striking errors, cracks, or off-metal signs. Most importantly, consider getting it graded by a trusted coin grading service, because one collector's overlooked coin can become another collector's record-breaking sale. Today, with coin shows, online auctions, and digital marketplaces exploding in popularity, the demand for rare wheat pennies like the 1955 D has never been greater. These coins are not just collectibles anymore, they're investments, artifacts, and pieces of American identity. And the stories tied to them? Unmatched. Imagine buying a roll of wheat pennies at a garage sale for $2 and finding a 1955 D worth more than your house. These stories are real. They've happened. And they can happen to anyone, even you. So the next time you come across a penny that looks old and worn, don't toss it aside. Examine it, study it, because hiding in plain sight in your kitchen drawer or under your car seat could be a rare 1955 D Lincoln penny with a value that could change your future. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Coins Master, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to learn about the coins that could make you a millionaire. And who knows, maybe your coin is the one that breaks the next record. Thanks for watching and keep searching, because the next $70 million coin could be in your pocket right now. Let me know if you'd like a thumbnail, title ideas, or voiceover script to go with it.